Hi everyone, and welcome back to video number 8, where it's the State Board Practical Exam of New Jersey practicing with Miss C. So, video number 8 is the State Board Basic Set Technique. This part of the exam, you are given 35 minutes to create the following. I'll bring her over here so you can see. You would have to create on volume base rollers, okay? Then you would have to create diagonal pin curls on the right side of the head. They have to be on the right side. There could be as many rollers that fit from front to crown of your mannequin. They could be any color, properly clipped at the base, at the scalp, and they have to be on volume. They can't be loose. And then on the left side, whatever fits here, but no more than 8. You don't want to like get them down here. That's wrong. So it has to be on the left front quadrant. And that is your perm rods with double end wraps. So I'll show you that. The back of the head is your finger waving at minimum 3 rows, 3 ridges. Okay, and this is not the best finger wave, but it is a passing horizontal finger wave. I'll try to do it a lot better. And then you're going to end it with a row of on base pin curls. Okay, so we'll go over that, and they have to be pinned right, not hanging off the neck. And they give you 35 minutes to do your New Jersey State Board Basic Set Technique. And they're all graded individually, whether you finish or not. Remember, you can not fail. You fail the practical exam and would have to reschedule if you fail 3 things out of everything that we've done. 3 different areas of the exam and you fail. So say you failed the rollers, the pin curls, and the perm rods, you didn't do well. You failed 3 things that pretty much you'd have to come back. You would have to reschedule. Okay, so I'm just letting you know. So I know this is like the longest part of the exam, but this is a part that some people need the practice on. So once you're done with your chemical relaxer, she's gonna have gel in her hair already. You wanna they're gonna tell you to set up with the things that you're gonna need for rollers, pin curls, perm rods, finger waving. And so you're gonna go ahead and grab your bag and they're gonna have those items. So you wanna have as many as assorted clips as possible. In here you'll have, and you don't have to buy these, you could throw in maybe 10, maybe, yeah, 10 roller clips, which are the double prongs. And I'll open this up for you. Because I'm gonna need them open anyway. So these are your roller clips. They're your double prongs because they have 2 prongs. So those are for your rollers. And then these are your pin curl clips, which is your single prong because they only have 1 single prong. This is the top and this is the underside, flat. So this is the top. It's very important how you put these in your rollers because you don't want them upside down. It becomes a pain. All right, you're going to be using those. These you will not be using. However, if you're going to use these to, they're not to be used on the pin curls, but any clip can be used on the rollers. I only seen this being used on the roller clips once, and I think it's because that person uh, just, one of my students just didn't know, and she didn't have the single prong. She didn't have these. This is going to be hard. So try to stay away from these long ones, okay? They're great for sectioning. I'll tell you what, they're great for sectioning, but that's about it. So you're gonna need at least 10 roller clips minimum in case they fall, get lost. You only need 4 or 5. And then you're gonna need about 10 to 15 of your pink curls. Again, you could have 20 of these and use them for the pink curls and the rollers. Okay. So I have that there ready to go. You're gonna need cotton coil for your perm rods. Only when you're done with everything do you wrap it with the cotton coil around the perm rods. You're gonna need your rollers. Your rollers can be any size, depending on the length of your mannequin's hair. I like to just get these done quick. So the bigger the roller, the more hair I can use. If her hair is long enough, so you know, just work easy. And you're gonna need perm rods. So I have at least, because I've been practicing, I have at least 4 rollers to go from front to crown. And I have at least 8 of these because really you should only be using anywhere from 6 to 8. Don't, if 5 fit, all right. If whatever fits, but less is more, right? So you need your perm. There could be any size, any color. Okay. They could be straight, concave. These are concave. Okay. Um, I'm not here to go into cosmetology 101. You should know what concave is and what a straight perm rod's. Okay. A jar of gel filled up, labeled gel. End wraps. Okay. This is a great box because it has an instant dispenser for it. You could bring one that has a dispenser or not. You need gloves because you have to demonstrate and simulate um, permanent waving solution. Even though it's water, you have to have a pair of gloves to simulate the application of a permanent waving solution. And here I have water in here that is labeled like if it was the real chemical permanent waving solution because you have to simulate it. It says simulate it, but you have to squeeze the water out and show how you apply permanent waving solution onto the rods. I've seen some instructors, I don't know, not giving this to their students empty. It should not be. And remember my hack, because this is already cut and the water is going to come out, but it doesn't come out when I have a glove on it for when I pack it for State Board. So remember to remove the glove. And since this is just water, you can go ahead and just test it that it comes out. Okay. So I have the fake permanent waving solution. I have plenty of gloves. And I am ready. I am ready to start. So let's start practicing, okay? Normally this takes 35 minutes without me talking. So I'm going to talk you through the whole thing. Make sure that you have to work with plenty of rat tail combs. So when you leave out items, I've noticed I only have like one. Make sure that you have plenty on your leave out stations, okay? So let's go. The first thing you want to start with is your roller set. So you're going to go ahead and comb. I'm vertically challenged. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this as close as I can to you. And sorry, I had to make sure she's adjusted, well adjusted, so she doesn't fall on me. All right. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to have her go back. The first thing is going to be on base placement rollers. Okay. So when you do your rollers, make sure that you measure from the nose going up. And it's the first one is going to be right at the center. It's going to be right there. So you're going to measure it lengthwise. You don't want to go past the ends because then the hair is going to come out. So I just try to keep it in as possible. So I'm going to measure that. I'm gonna go ahead and take my measurements for, well, she's a little bit too loose, right? Once I measure the length, I'm good to go, and I don't want her too loose. Okay. Let me remeasure her. It's like her hairline is crooked, right? I don't know. All right. Pull that down and get the other side. I'm good to go with that one. All right. Now, the diameter. And remember, they have to be right on the base. Go ahead and take a horizontal section. Clean it because it looks a little bit too crooked. Make it nice and clean. All right. Enough hair for that roller to fit. It cannot be crooked because then it's going to mess you up. And we don't want that to happen on your exam. All right. So get that nice and clean. Oh boy. What is going on with this mannequin? We're getting there. Okay. All right. And what we want to do, I'm going to face it this way. Maybe that'll be better. Now we're going to go ahead and over direct this section at least 135 degrees away from its base section. It will have to land like right on its base. That's full volume base rollers. Okay. If I was to hold it 90 right above its base section, when I roll it down, it's going to fall behind, like, and that's half off base. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead. And another thing we don't want to do is pinch. This is pinching. You don't want to do that, okay? We want to make sure that the roller, the hair, is going to expand throughout the roller. It's going, so we're going to place it behind, believe it or not. I know a lot of people want to place it in front and roll opposite, but you're going to roll towards you, okay? And over direct it, place the roller right behind the hair. These are magnetic rollers, so the ends have to stick onto the roller. And we're going to wrap the hair evenly, roll those ends in with tension underneath that roller. Hold, if you want to go ahead and put your fingers in the hole, that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and hold it underneath, outside, so I could get all that hair wrapped nice and even, nicely tight, nicely smooth. It has to expand the whole length of the roller, okay? And wherever you want to place it, you could place the roller clip, you could do 2 or 1. That's fine, it doesn't matter. But as long as you place your roller clip, I like to use the 2 prong, lift it a little bit, and right underneath, I place it right at the scalp. Oops. So look. Right at the scalp. Not on the side, not on the top. It has to be underneath. That clip has to be placed underneath. So if I'm going to use 2, say it's a little bit weak, I'm going fast. I want to make sure that I place it right underneath and in where it's going to hold, okay? And that's my first roller. Now I'm going to go from behind the roller, and I'm going to keep going until I get to right before the hair ends, so the highest point of the head. Because back here, I have to have room to start my finger waves, but I don't do that till I do last. So I'm gonna keep going until I have 4 rollers or whatever fits from front to crown, okay? So let me go up, and here goes. Can you see? I hope you can see. And again, measure the length. So obviously I have to adjust because it's a little bit too wide and I don't want the hair to unravel. Take a smidgen, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and measure diameter. Take my rat tail comb and grab a subsection. Nice and neat and clean, nice and straight. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna comb all from top to bottom. And I'm gonna over direct it over that roller so that when I roll it down, it's gonna land right on its base. Grab it all. No pinching. The hair should expand on the roller. Let it stick. Let those ends stick. And then with tension, roll it all the way down. Roll it. And it's gonna sit nice like a birdie on its perch, right? If I wanna put the roller clip on the other side, I can. Lift it up and underneath the roller, it goes. I'll do the other side so you could see. Lift it up and underneath the roller. Don't grab the other hair that you're going to roll. Okay? You don't have to keep cleaning your comb, but I do. It has a lot of crappy hair on it. All right. I'm going to go ahead. Get another subsection. Make sure that everything is going to fit. Go ahead and get another horizontal section, nice and neat and clean. Straight across. Come on, you little hairs. And, oh Lord, okay. And if I see like this should be adjusted a little bit, maybe it's too long, that's fine. Okay. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay, I'm gonna over direct it. Again, place the roller behind, pull as if I'm pulling up from the head, the hair, and roll it all the way down until it sits right on its base. Go ahead and grab my roller clips, lift a little bit, and underneath at the scalp. I'm gonna place another 2 clips. You could do one on each side, not a big deal. If you only want to do 3, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead. I always do 4. Just helps me when I do my pink curls. It just does. I'm gonna adjust a little bit. Again, you want to make sure that the hair expands all the way uh around the roller, not that it's narrowed and stays in the middle. So if it's too narrow, I just go ahead and just measure and then adjust. Okay. You'd be surprised. 35 minutes is plenty of time when you've practiced the state board technique on the mannequin that you're going to use. You're gonna see that you're gonna be able to finish her this set in at least, I would say, um depending on how much of a perfectionist you are, it done right, knowing what to do, anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes, you'll be done. You will be done. Plenty of time to get graded on by your examiner. Okay? Let it over direct as much as you can and let it fall right on its base. And then 1 clip underneath on each side, or just 1. You don't have to do 2. I'm just doing 2 because I don't know. I'm just doing 2. Okay. In the front, it kind of got messed up. And if it did, and you have time, just fix it. You know, I'm just going to fix it because, oh, I'm a perfectionist. So sometimes it'll take me 30 minutes. Sometimes, depending on the good day, I can finish it in 25 minutes. But you know, when you think it through and you're talking, it's like when you're trying to be a perfectionist, that's not a good thing. Okay, so there's my 4 rollers. All right, and now I'm going to go to my diagonal pink curls on the right side of the head. All right, so many different ways to perform your diagonal pink curls. I have a good friend of mine that does it differently, teaches it differently, and that's fine. The end result is the same. That's the main thing. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and gel this up. You could use water. You could use water on that side of the head, wet it as good as you want. It needs to be wet. Or you go ahead and grab some gel and you just generously saturate the hair. But when you go ahead and saturate the hair, go ahead and mold the hair. That's going to happen when you put too much gel. Listen, the more gel, the better it is for you, especially when it comes to finger waving. So get it as generously. And then you want to create your C shaping. It's called diagonal pin curls for a reason. A lot of my students do it right, but they always end up making it vertical. So I have them practice this over and over again until they actually see the layout that it is not vertical, it is diagonal. We want to place them diagonal. Will you fail? It really depends on the examiner. If it really, like I said, it's got to be diagonal. But if the pin curls are done really nice, where it's no stem, half stem, and full stem, the first three, you're gonna be okay, I think. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna lay her sideways and I'm gonna try and have you see this. The way you get them diagonal, if you got the first one that is referencing the angle, if it starts, this is your point of reference, the corner of the eye, you're gonna grab with your rat tail a section that's already been C-shaped and you're standing right behind it and you're combing it. You're over directing that section towards you. You're gonna go ahead and make sure it's all gelled up and create a ribbon. This is a ribbon. You're gonna go ahead and cross it like you're gonna try and make a circle. And the more gel it has, and then you're gonna roll it. Don't twist it, roll it up its stem. A pin curl has three parts. It has the circle, the stem, and the base. So we're going to go ahead and roll it back. You can't stand here and do it. You got to make sure that you're rolling it with as much gel so it can look very neat, rolled up, and you're going counterclockwise. This is very important. The first three pin curls have to be counterclockwise and they have to look different from each other. So you're going to roll it up as much as possible. And then right here, the corner of the eye is going already diagonal. And you're going to go ahead and use your single prong because they're skinnier and they'll hold these pin curls a lot better. If you use the roller clips, that's fine. You're going to go ahead and put it in the circle, the point sticking up in the circle, and pin it right there. You're pinning it towards the closed end and no stem is showing. So this is a no stem. Your next one, and it is right underneath your first roller. Your next one has to be a little bit bigger. It still has to be rolled. So I'm going to see how I take like almost like a diagonal section. And I comb it all the way back. I go ahead and grab and do a ribbon. Cross it, make the circle going up the stem just a little bit bigger. Roll it, not twist it, and it's going to overlap my first pin curl. And in the circle, towards the closed end, my point going up to the other side is a proper way to pin and fasten. It's going up. And that one is right underneath my second roller. Under my third roller, I'm gonna take my next diagonal subsection, comb it all the way back. And this one will be a little bit bigger from the first and the second. Ribbon it. And I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger. And this will be my full stem. And this won't go past my third roller. It will not. It will be right underneath. And see, I don't even have to hold it because so much gel in it, it'll stay in place for me to be able to work. In the circle, can you see? No stem, half stem, full stem, and it's right underneath my third roller. First pin curl underneath my first, my second underneath my second, and under my third. I did not go past my fourth. Now my fourth one, I'm going to start up here. I'm taking a subsection, which is diagonal, and I'm staying under my fourth for my fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh will stay and not go past my fourth roller. So I'm going to start on top. And these are going to be rolled all the same. They don't have to look different. They could be all the same, but they all have to be rolled clockwise up the stem and pinned clockwise. And the point is going down. And it's going towards the closed section in the circle to the other side. Grab my next section. This is my fifth, and this is going to be the same as the previous one up there, and rolled at the stem. In the circle towards the closed end. My sixth. Over direct it and roll it clockwise. The clip in the circle pointing downward to the other side. And number 7, these are clockwise. So your 4, 5, and 6 are clockwise. Last pin curl in the circle. And they can't be loose, they can't be messy. Okay. 3 pin curls. 1, 2, 3 facing up, not going past the third roller. And then 4 going down. The first 3 are counterclockwise. The 4, 5, 6, and 7, the one behind that row, the first row, are going clockwise, and the pin is going down. Okay. So I think if I change the mode, you could see it better. Okay, your diagonal pin curls. Maybe you see it better. They all got to be facing, 3 going facing up, 4 going facing down, and they're diagonal. Not vertical, they're diagonal. Okay, next is your perm rods. Your perm rods. Whoa. Just saw my garage door. Sorry about that. Your perm rods. We're going to do our perm rods. Let me lift her up. Your perm rods are not hard to do if you're used to doing perm rods. And those are going to go on, of course, the right side of the head. Someone asked me a long time ago if, does it matter? Does it have to be on the right side of the head? Yes, it does. It does. Because those are the instructions that the examiners give us, and you have to be able to follow the instruction. Part of the instruction is listening, because if you go and work with your client, you have to listen to your client. Listening is part of your examination. Okay, so you're gonna need your end wraps, you're gonna need your perm rods. And one thing I tell everybody, that your perm rods, the open end, should always be facing the face. And people ask me why. I'm gonna tell you real quick in case your instructor haven't told you. If you're doing perm rods on someone, these are rubber bands. And when they're wrapped, sometimes once in a while, these actually, you ever like thrown a rubber band to somebody, these can snap off. And let me tell you, when you wrap these with tension and they snap off, if it's facing the opposite direction, what happens is if they get loose and snap off, they can really hit somebody on their face badly, to the point where it could cause a mark on their face. But to be safe, if it unravels this way, it's going to hit possibly the back of her head, and it's not going to cause a mark, and she probably won't even feel it because there's hair back here protecting it. That is the reason why I tell all my students to make sure that you wrap it with the open end facing the face, even when you're on the back of the neck, because these things get loose and they could make welts in the back of the nape, just on the corner back. In the middle, you're fine. Okay? So you just learned something today. All right. So here we're going to perform your perm rods. And again, you have to measure. And this is half off its base. It's not going to sit tightly on its base. These are half off its base. That means if the subsection is here, this is going to go right just almost below it, but not completely off of it. Okay? So that means you would have to hold the hair right perpendicular from its base section right above it. Okay? So wet the hair if you have to. Measure. It's pretty much going up to the beginning of the fourth roller, and then measure diameter, how much hair is going to fit. So if it's going to go right to the beginning of the fourth roller, I'm going to go ahead and create a horizontal section that off. You don't have to put a pin in it. You just know you're not going to go past. And then measure the diameter. That's why you're going to put like at least 6 of them, because you don't wrap this with a lot of hair. Otherwise, it's not going to look neat. You're going to use 2 end papers, and you're going to be right above its base section, not over directing it. You're going to go ahead and grab a paper and make like a sandwich. So you're going to put a paper in the front. And if you need to wet it, that's where you use your water bottle. So we're going to do this really quickly so we could get to the finger waves. Otherwise, this video is going to be it's already long, but I know you want to learn it. So these are called it's going to be double end wrap. You're going to go all the way, slide it up to the ends. Now, that might happen because the hair is layered, and that's fine. We'll grab it on the way down. If your mannequin is layered, that's fine. You can grab it on the way down, no big deal. So you're going to go ahead and hold it. Grab it. Make sure that it goes in the paper. No fish hooks. And it's gonna sit just a little bit below, oops, its base. And it's gotta be nice and neat. I'm gonna do that one again because that is not neat. So bear with me, okay? And you can fast forward this if you already know how to do your perm rods. But for those that don't, stay with me and let's do it together. And then once you know how to do a state board set, I like to measure the diameter. You don't want to grab too much. Okay. And it's good that you practice because, again, especially this technique, if you're not practicing this technique, I'm telling you, it's going to catch you off guard. And this is the part where you're going to score the most points, where they're going to see more of your technique and they're going to be like, okay, they know what they're doing. This person knows what they're doing. And the state board set came out really nice. And, you know, this state board set can make you or break you in your whole exam. And we don't want it to break you. Okay. So make sure that they're not bulky, they're rounded completely around the perm rods. You're using your double paper. Your sections are nice and across. Okay, horizontal sections. And I don't know why I'm not getting it. And you have 2 end papers. All right. I know that this weekend there is a state board examination, and I hope that these videos are going to help those that are going and you are practicing and getting ready to get that license, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You put yourself through school, whether it's a private school and you practice for a year or 2 years if you went at night, a year if you went during the day, and you put in a lot of time, left your family, studied for your exam. When you make it to the practical exam, give that's a huge thing, because you passed your written exam and you did good. You are at the practical exam because you know your stuff already. Your theory. It's like when you went for your driver's test. You had to pass the written first, right? And then you had to show the driver that you know how to drive. So you had to take your road test. It's the same thing in cosmetology. You prove that you know the theory part, and now you're going to prove to us that you know the physical part, the actual physical part that you're going to be doing at the salon, which is preparing your station, making sure that you're working safely, making sure that you know what to do, how to protect yourself and others, how to protect the integrity of the hair. Whoops. Right? So if at this point you want to move the mannequin like this to make it easier, because you're not over directing the hair like that. You want to make sure that the when you roll it, when you grab your section of hair and you're wrapping it, that it is above 90 degrees above, perpendicular to its base section, not over directed. That's very important, um, because perm rods are going to have chemical. This chemical alters the hair and creates straight hair to become curly, the size of the rod that you're using is going to be the curl once you alter it with the perming solution. And you don't want to roll them too tight, but they can't be too loose either. So that's why we do it half off its base. We wrap them half off their base. Also, make sure that these bands are not twisted and they're like kind of behind the rods, not on the hair. So you can adjust them. Okay. 1 and then 2, and wraps like a sandwich. Wet it. They can stick together on the hair. Go all the way up. Grab. And then with tension, wrap them above its base section. I mean, at its base, perpendicular to its base, right above it, not below it. And then my last one. You don't want to go past the ear. Oh boy. Don't tell me I ran out of perm rods. That's why you gotta have to bring enough. I had enough perm rods. Where are they? All right. Did they fall? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're gonna cheat and take one from Missy over here. I used it for the other doll. Okay. You're not gonna have another doll with you, so make sure that you bring at least 8 in that bag. I had 8. I just forgot that I used it on the other mannequin. She had it. Because I wanted to show you it already done. But now I'm showing you how to perform it. And again, this is taking a little long because I'm explaining it. All right. These can be twisted and adjusted. You just have to kind of work with them, with these bands. Okay. You don't want to put the cotton around because this cotton has like lint all over it and with your hands wet. So you're going to wait until the examiner comes to you. So far, if this starts to happen, okay, I'm going to teach you another hack. Since I already have two, I can go ahead on the side here and it'll be tightened. Okay, but just make sure that that clip is clipped onto two rollers and not touching the hair. Okay, now we're going to perform the finger waves. This is very important. The finger waves cannot have, it cannot be done with a rat tail. It has to be done with a finger waving comb, which is also known as your all-purpose comb. Your all-purpose comb, which has, it could be a small one, your cutting comb, which has the coarse teeth and the fine teeth. Okay? You want to go ahead and gel the back using your comb and the jar of gel that you have on your station and just paint it on. That happens, so don't worry about it. As much gel as you can possibly put is going to help you. Not having gel, not having this hair wet is going to be a problem. So I tell my students, gel it up because the more gel you have, the better it's going to be. Okay, for you. I never tell you to cheat, but gel helps you to sort of get through it quickly and and cheat a little bit. It just helps. Okay, so you could start on either side. You could start on the left or the right. You can't start in the middle. You have to start on either side. And this is where me as an instructor, if I was examining you, I would want to see where you start, and where you start is where you push, and I'll show you. So I'm left-handed, and I always like to start at the left. These are called finger waves for a reason, because you're going to use your index finger and your comb. You're going to lay it, and they're horizontal. If I start on the left, I have to push my first wave to the left, push up, pinch it with my index finger and my middle finger, and comb underneath. Make sure that I do not lose that ridge. And then I'm just not going to lift off like up. I'm just going to slide to the left, to the left, to the left. Okay? If I was righty, I could start on that side. But again, my finger, the length of my finger, and I have to push the side that I'm starting on, lift up, pinch with my middle finger and my index finger, comb underneath. Again, I am not righty, and then slide off. And that's my first wave, okay? There is a lot of videos on how to do your finger wave. Lefty, and more done with the right hand than left hand. I'm gonna do it and finish this video as fast as I can with my left hand. And you only need 3 waves. And slide off. If you start on the right side, you have to push to your right. If you start on your left side, you have to push. The examiners are going to watch where you start and how you push. If you push the other way, that is an indication that your finger waves, they're not done properly, and that would probably be some marks coming off, because when you started it, you pushed in the wrong direction. Okay? So I'm just letting you know. So we're going to go ahead and do this as quickly as possible. All I need is 3 ridges. So there's my first wave. You can see it. Now, where I stop is where I start again. So now I'm going to lower my finger and I'm going to go ahead and make a C shape. Let me put a little bit more gel or wet it. Gel gives the hair better, thicker viscosity. Okay. Now I'm going to push. I'm at the right. I lower my finger to do my next ridge, and I'm going to push to my right. It's like I created an S there. Don't lose your ridge from up there. And they want a minimum of 3 ridges. Obviously, I'm going to give them more than that because I'm making them like very close. You can make them far apart. I might do 4. I don't know. Really depends on how I feel. Now I'm going to start my next one. Probably going to do 3. Just to finish. Her head could go all the way down. It's not going all the way down. Okay. It's all right. She doesn't want to work with me today. Okay. I don't want to lose her either. She can pop off the station and then that'll be the end of that. Off the tripod, I mean. So once I have about 3 ridges, I'm good. But you know what, guys? Try to, like, when it comes to this, take your time. Not too much time, obviously. So I have 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and carve out the amount of pink curls I'm going to do at the nape. And I'm already losing her drape, but at this point, it's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and finish with a row at the nape. Her pink curls. Because we are done with that, with the state board. All right. Sometimes I've heard my students say that the examiner just didn't let them finish a row of pink curls at the nape, and that's up to the examiner to let you finish. Because this is the last big part of the exam, and they want to just like get you out of there, and that's okay, because that means that just like they know that you were about to finish, and they just want to go ahead and get you out as quickly as possible and just see like 1 or 2 pink curls at the nape and then finish grading you, because the last part is like 5 minutes and it's really quickly. So if they tell you to stop, that's fine. Before the time, that's great. Especially if I'm not that good at the pink curls at the nape and I want to get out, I've had it, then let them. I mean, you have no choice. You got to do what they tell you. Okay. This is done. Make sure, guys, that your pin curls at the nape of the neck are not hanging down. Because remember, I told you there's 3 parts to a pin curl. There is the circle, the stem, and the base. If they're hanging, you're missing the base. So make sure, and I'm going to take off her cape at this point. if you lose the cape, at this point the cape is going to get wet, it's going to get whatever it's going to get, and it might slide down. Don't fuss with it. um the examiner saw it throughout the exam that you had her draped, so she's going to be fine. um and this is the last part of that, what you're going to use the mannequin for. You're not going to use the mannequin after the basic state board. So now when you're done, you wait for the examiner to come and look at your roller set. Let me bring this down a little bit. Your roller set, your diagonal pin curls, your perm rods, your finger waves, your pin curls at the end. And they're gonna look and say, you're done. Show me the application of permanent waving solution. That is when you're going to put your gloves on, or it doesn't matter which comes first. You're gonna go ahead and wrap right behind your perm rods and around the perimeter a coil of cotton, not cotton balls, a coil of cotton around the perimeter only of your perm rods, and don't cover the hair. Make sure, that's why I like to put one pin curl on the opposite side, one roller clip on the opposite side, because if I use two, it gets in the way. Okay? And you're going to wrap it around your perm rods and underneath. I've seen instructors wrap in between. It's not necessary. Less is more. As long as you remember the cotton, that's all the examiner wants to see, that you're protecting the solution from getting on the skin of the client. Safety, not in between the rods. Who cares? But if that's what your examiner taught you, that's fine. You're going to see that some examiners are not going to have time to wait for you to put cotton in between every roller. Okay. This is where you place your gloves. Put your gloves on. Is my hand getting bigger these days or what? And this is where you actually simulate squeezing water onto every rod until you've done all the rods, or the examiner says, okay, that's fine, stop, thank you. Okay, so you have to take a bottle with water, a little bottle, or use the one that comes in the permanent wave. Buy a permanent waving kit and take the hydrogen peroxide. You can use that or dump it. Okay, lean her back, and with the other hand, again, I'm a lefty, but if you're a righty, you're gonna hold it like this. Okay, and you're gonna go ahead and saturate, squeeze water out, lift that one rod, and I hope you could see it. And you're going to go ahead and across the rod, top, middle, and underneath. You see it? It gets wet. Then you're going to go to the next one, top, middle, and underneath. You could lean her sideways, top, middle, and underneath. It's saturated, it's wet. Top, middle, and underneath until she tells you to stop, but you have to use both hands. Squeeze the water onto the rods. This is important. Try not to forget this. They'll tell you to stop, you're done. Okay? Put the mannequin away is what an examiner would tell you. And that's why in your bag, you have an extra mannequin bag. There's not going to be any time for you to take all the stuff down. We don't have time. We're going to go right to, and I say this when I'm examining, when I'm doing mock state board exams at my the school that I work at. I don't have time. Put her away and let's go right to your mannequin, your manicuring and pedicure. And this is where this bag comes in handy, because you're going to go ahead, you have your mannequin bag, You take her home and you put her, you clean her up at home and you bring her back to school or whoever and take all the goop and everything off. But this will go be put away in your bag on the side of your duffel bag or whatever. Okay. Um, this looks kind of creepy, but anyway, that's how you're gonna wrap her away. Okay. And just for a thumbnail, this is the state board set. All right. Like, share, and subscribe. And you also know that I'm going to put the state board items for the basic state board set in the description, like I did with all my videos. Don't miss our last video, which is the manicuring and pedicuring, where we use our own hand. It's going to be done in 5 minutes, but of course, with me explaining and yours truly, it takes a little longer, but it's not going to be that long, I promise you. And then that's it. We'll say our goodbyes then, okay? I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye.